recording on a special day. It's WrestleMania day one. It should be pretty fun, but we could talk about WrestleMania a little bit later. I am here with co-host Quan from the Comeback Spot and a very, very special guest. I vicariously watch all movies through him. I do not even entertain giving anything 2 hours worth my time if he has not reviewed it. Don Griffin, the Armchair Auteur. How you doing, man?
Pretty good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Me and Justin have been talking about getting you on to talk about wrestling for a lot of the New Japan stuff. And then whenever we talk about New Japan ourselves, you're just like, this kind of sucks.
Yeah, man. I've been like a pretty diehard New Japan mark for years, and every year for the last like 3 or 4 years, it's just being harder and harder. It's very depressing. Like I know I'm gonna have to cut the cord at some point. I'm gonna have to like send Ghetto like a Dear John letter, but I'm just not ready to do it yet.
As a Naito hardcore Naito fan, I felt that for a really long time. And then when it finally happened, I was just like, well, it happened. And then you had Kento put his ass cheeks on his chest, and I was just like, come on, man. Come on, man.
Naito finally won both belts, and then a global pandemic happened. And I don't think that. I think that was just God going, you know what? This guy's not a top guy. It's not meant for him to be in the spot.
Yeah, God definitely had to step in. It's a shame. But this is an odd war report because, you know, nothing has happened in the past 24 hours.
A day and a half we've been going.
Yeah. So I think there was something interesting that came out of night one of NXT. So we can go into the trenches real quick. And decided light, Quan sent me his PSN. So we're gonna see how that goes. I'm gonna see him playing FIFA, and it'd be like, well, I don't have FIFA, so
I don't have FIFA. I don't even know soccer like that. I just finished Miles Morales.
We can't play Miles Morales together.
I know, nigga. I'm just saying. Look,
well, I'm gonna add you. We have no games in common, and you on my ass.
I'm gonna buy a game. Whatever you got, I'm on it.
All right, I'll hold you to that. But real news, Triple H came out and said that Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Candice LeRae, Pete Dunne, Priest, and other veterans have been producing these younger talents as matches, and I think that's very nice, man. I know a lot of us have questioned, you know, what's going on with Candice LeRae in NXT. You know, she's clearly talented, but they're not really having her in any position to hold any belts. Definitely in a Cassius Ohno situation, but I definitely think it works. You know, her partnering herself with Indy Hartwell, which, you know, Indy is getting better, and we could talk about that once we get to the card. But I think this is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think, I think a lot of people have always had a bit of anxiety about NXT and how there are so many new people who should be like learning and getting better. But because the show is like a third brand now, you have to focus on the people who are names who don't really need to get any better than they are. Like Johnny Gargano was like good. He's like that's the man's like in his prime basically. So it's cool they actually have them doing stuff like that. Because I mean, like I don't know, it seems like kind of a parallel between like them having the Drew Gulak, like, you know, helping Bad Bunny on the main roster. You know what I mean? Like there are a lot of guys who in WWE mainstream eyes, I guess, seem like newbies, but who have been wrestling for like ever, you know, who are veterans and have useful knowledge. So it's good that they're actually tapping into that.
Mm-hmm. Anything on that, Quan?
I'm not too surprised. I think people forget, like, even when, you know, the PC first opened, it wasn't just training people to wrestle. It was training people to do commentary, training people to produce, training people to referee. So the fact they're still keeping that going, I think that's interesting. I think the interesting name that popped out to me was Pete Dunne, because he's so young. I mean, I know he's been at it for a good amount of years at this point, but he's just so young, and you can tell like he's really in his bag when it comes to the wrestling thing. Like even he's a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a wrestling damn near genius at this point. At what is he, 26? I think he's like 26 years old, already producing matches for you know, quote unquote younger talent when he's younger talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's insane. And also like producing stuff and like being a coach and helping people, you know, it prepares them for life after wrestling. because we've seen a lot of life after wrestling, and it's not glamorous at all. It's either, you go off somewhere and, kill yourself on the indies, and
You on the convention circuit.
yeah,
You autographs.
That
Sitting next to Virgil.
Yep.
Hey, I met some really nice wrestlers at the convention, so I'm not gonna slander the convention. But either doing Blue Chew ads on podcasts or being a co-host of someone else, stuff like that. And I think this is definitely more beneficial to an individual's life and wellness. So even they don't have to, when their bodies clearly can't go no more, they can still do what they love and then pay the bills and shit like that.
Shout out to Brian Kendrick. I saw a little the WWE PC YouTube account put out a little video the other day. I guess he's kind of pretty much retired at this point. I didn't know that. It was a real quiet retirement for Brian Kendrick, but I believe he produces a lot of matches for 205 Live now. So
that's dope. I love Kendrick, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad he got that last little bit of run. Like him in the Cruiserweight Classic, that match with the Bushi was just like probably my favorite match of the entire tournament. So
fantastic.
Good.
So that is it for In the Trenches. Oh wait, there's the AEW house show that happened. We talked about it a little bit off mic. All I could really say is there was camera equipment there, so maybe we'll see it in the future, and then we'll probably watch it then. Someone debuted. I do not know how to pronounce their name, but they are from DDT Pro. We'll see if he's actually on the AEW roster or is just like something nice that they decided to like give to the people for Mania weekend.
Oh, before we start night 2, I just finished watching UK from this week like an hour ago. Walter and Rampage, they had a banger.
All right,
another one for Walter. So if you guys got a little time, check that out.
I wanted to watch it before this recording, but I had to watch the ladder match first.
Because we missed it.
Because we were recording. Well, I'm sad to see that Rampage Brown did not take it from Walter. He was definitely my guy, but we will see who takes it off him in the future. I will probably be 30 before Walter gets the belt off him. A nice Bruno Sammartino reign for Walter, making up for all that lost pandemic time.
Don, do you remember when he won it? It was NXT Takeover New York. That was
from Dunn, right?
He beat Dunn. He had not lost that belt since then. That's insane.
It's been a really good reign though. I mean, like every major defense he's had has been really strong, and like I would love for him to drop it and just come to NXT proper. But I don't know if he's really ready to make that like Florida move or not. Like he seems to like living where he lives.
Low key, I think before pandemic happened, I think that was the plan. I think they're going to transition him over. As soon as they went to USA, he's on that first episode. I was like, yeah, I think he's going to stick around for a little bit.
Yeah, Walter is a weird, I won't say weird individual, but he's like very adamant about like staying in his home country.
Yeah,
and he doesn't really like the States. I
don't blame him.
So soon we're gonna like see him post a picture him in his Benz in a nice Orlando home. It's gonna look like what is it, Natalia's crib off Total Divas? Walter got bread. I don't know. Hey, that may be stacking, man.
It looks like it.
But we'll see how it goes. He's young, so he doesn't have to rush anything like that. We seen it. Millie McKenzie, who is now on NXT UK, she didn't like rush to make the decision to hop to WWE. Definitely said that, I'm gonna get him more experience first. And I thought that was
why do you say it like that? Why did you use that voice? That was unnecessary.
Because she's a child. Because she is a child. I've been watching Millie McKenzie wrestle since she was 17 years old. She is a child. That is my daughter. Like, but shout out to Millie McKenzie. Hopefully she does great things at NXT UK. But like, now let's transition to NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver Night 2. first things first, how'd y'all feel about the Poppy performance?
I mean, I don't think I actually care about any like modern WWE like celebrity performances, but I love the ongoing like Poppy Triple H friendship, where it just seems like I get the vibe that he actually listens to her music when no one's around, which is super fucking weird, but like it seems right, it seems correct.
I think I never used to care about like celebrity performance or like the live performance thing until Aleister Black came out with Code Orange to do his theme at, I think,
That was
like
pretty
Takeover
tight, yeah.
Orlando. I was just like, all right, I gotta tap in. Not really a big fan of I think it's like Incendiary, like it's Code Orange and like Incendiary. I forget. But I was just like, why not? Let me tap in. It costs nothing but time for these streaming services. So when EO came out, or when she came out for EO's performance, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna do an album review as like a joke for the podcast, and I was just like, oh, this shit's actually pretty good. Like, I'm really enjoying this. So I'm a big Poppy fan.
You know what the crazy thing about Poppy was? Y'all know how that whole shit started? Like when she first came out, it was you gotta look into it. It's the wildest story. Like she was like this weird social experiment thing. Like she was literally making pop music first. It was like this really basic pop music, but she also would make these really weird, like cryptic videos that were like 30 seconds long for like months and months and months. And then I don't know, all of a sudden it just stopped. Then she started making like metal hardcore music out of nowhere. It's the weirdest
and it kicks ass.
Yo, it's the weirdest shit. So when I saw she was like fucking with NXT, I was like, that's such a random pairing.
When I saw when she came back, I was just like, oh, okay, this is like there's a clear relationship established here. So
NXT superstar Poppy. You know what I mean?
You feel me? It's Pat McAfee and Poppy. They're like just wrestling Hall of Fame. And then it's like Mr. T right under those two. I like the Poppy performance a lot. Hopefully this song. I want to see how it sounds in the headphones because anything could sound good live. I thought Chance the Rapper sounded great live, and then I went home. I don't want to get confused. But let's actually get into the card here. Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon versus Dewey, Candice LeRae, and Indie Wrestling. Or Indie Harlow, whatever you prefer. But I like Indie Wrestling. How'd you feel about the match?
I was into it, but I wasn't like crazy for it. Honestly, like I like Ember and Shotzi together because it gives Ember something to do, and I like Shotzi. But like part of me is still a little bit bummed that the NXT women are having their own tag championship. Like they deserve it. I think it's great. It'll definitely help them develop the women on the show. But I really am going to miss kind of the idea that the women's tag team titles could just travel all over because I thought it was cool, and it was kind of fun that every now and again you could. I mean, it stopped being fun when the tag champs were like Shayna and Nia, but it used to be fun that like Sasha and Bayley could just roll over to NXT and like have a match and it would be cool, But no, it was solid. I mean, I feel like this weird thing about Ember Moon where like I'm glad she's back. I remember like that period where we thought she was never going to come back, like her career was just like going to be cut short. But now that she's back, I'm like, oh, I don't actually care about you like that. I'm not like actually that hyped to watch you wrestle, even though I think she's good. I just don't feel like a connection to her at all. So like,
it's for sure the lack of character. And when she came out, I thought it was better than what was predicted because if it was Bo Dallas, kiss my ass. So you remember the Bo Dallas rumors? I was just like, hey man, spare me, bruh. But nah, when Ember Moon came back and she was like doing single stuff for like that month, like everything before the Dusty Classic started, I was very excited to see what she would possibly do. But now it's just like it's cool. When I look at this tag team, it's the veteran working with a younger talent, and I'm just waiting to see like how Shotzi Blackheart like blossoms after this. The match
that's exactly how I feel.
Like it's a parallel for both teams because I want to see Indy Hartwell really become what she was in Melbourne City Wrestling, and Shotzi Blackheart just the sky's the limit with her. And Ember Moon and Candice LeRae are two people that are in that veteran spot for these two. So,
I need Shotzi. I just need Shotzi to slow down.
Stop cracking her head against
my anxiety is too high when that girl wrestles, man. I can't do this. She's stressing me out.
The fact that she bounced back, so like the fact that she's not injured yet is very scary to me.
That's because she's young. Watching that 30 hit. It's a little different when 30 hit. You can't be doing.
Is she still gonna have the green hair at 30?
Hope so. you can still do green hair at 30. That's not crazy. Candace got silver hair, whatever the hell she got.
Oh, she was blonde before. I definitely think it was one of those spontaneous what is it? Pandemic hair dyes.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck it, why not? For the most part, I don't see anybody in the position to take it off Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon. So, I mean, what happens after this, I have no idea. So I'm not really excited for what's to come. Like it's all a mystery at this point.
Probably some multi-woman type deal. They might run it back with Indian Candace if they want to. But I will say, I mean, I don't know what else they gonna do, nigga. Like,
because I think somebody pointed out like Shotzi Blackheart and Candice LeRae has been feuding like since like September. No, that's kind of insane.
That is true.
Or like it's been like 5 months or.
Nah, when did she run the takeover? When was that? That was.
Oh yeah, that was like almost Halloween
last year. Yeah.
Hey man, I'm tired. This is like when Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio was like feuded forever, even after he lost
an eye came out. That's the wild part.
That should be the deciding finish. I ripped your eye out, man.
Not one.
You know what I mean? But we'll see what's to come. I can't think of any other tag teams that can possibly like spring up currently. So we'll just have to see. Especially with like Raquel Gonzalez now being the women's champion now, you officially lost the tag team.
I mean, her Dakota can still work.
I know they can still work, but
that'll stop a feud, a singles feud. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see.
Oh, she's. I don't know. I feel like she's just in the 95 diesel spot, basically.
Yeah,
like,
that's how I feel.
The heater that becomes world champion before the workhorse that they're protecting or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is extra weird that Sean works down there and he's just like, oh, I remember when this happened to me and my best friend. This would be a great angle.
Hey, man. I just remember something the other day, man. You remember when I did this? Yeah, let's just do it again, man. It was great. History repeats itself.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, at least he's not backstage telling me to take somas and stuff. I mean, I guess it's just stories. That's good.
Hey, man, Dakota, just snort this real quick, man. It did wonders for me.
Look where I'm at now.
Yeah. But next match, we got Jordan Devlin versus Santos Escobar for the Cruiserweight Championship in a ladder match, which they didn't get too wild with the ladders. I definitely the standard NXT stuff, fall off the ladder into the next ladder and it breaks.
Yeah.
That is like as far as it went. But I thought it was a really solid match from the in-ring stuff.
Beautiful.
That was really solid.
Oh, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, that wasn't really good news. I thought it was really solid. I just felt like I don't care about Jordan Devlin whenever I see him. I always see him as in Street Fighter, there's the characters that aren't Ken and Ryu that wear the same gi, like Dan or something. I feel like Jordan Devlin is he's like Finn Balor's Dan, where I'm like, oh, okay, I could be watching Finn Balor right now, but this dude's here. I just never got into him in his weirdly sized head, but I thought the match was good.
Yeah, it was okay. I liked it.
Yeah, I appreciate Devlin's work. I don't know if you guys watch UK as much as I do. I watch UK every week. He hasn't really had a bad match in a long time. So I was excited for the match. What did I give the rating? Let me see what I gave it for a rating, because I gave it a 4 at the time. So I was feeling it when I watched it.
At the time. How you feeling right now after hearing somebody else's opinion about it?
I don't know. That's why I do it immediately after I watch the match. I don't have anybody's opinion to deter me.
But I did like the match. I just didn't think it was anything extravagant. I definitely. Oh, go ahead.
You know why? Because we expected it to steal the show, and it didn't steal the show. That's the problem.
I think that's it. Yeah.
We expected. We had really high expectations for that match, and then. It was good. It was just
it was good, but it was not gonna be the co-main event or whatever or either main events really.
Yeah. especially with the match after that.
Right. But yeah, Santos Escobar, our cruiserweight champion. I don't know what the hell they're gonna do with Devlin after this. I don't know if he goes back to UK or if he stays. It is what it is. I can acknowledge that Jordan Devlin has been having really good matches on NXT UK from what I've seen, but I'm just way more invested in Santos Escobar.
For sure, absolutely.
He's just so much cooler than you. Like, he's fucking rad.
Straight up, yeah.
But next match, we have Johnny Gargano versus Bronson Reed for the North American Championship. A lot of people are upset about this, but Gargano's just a really good wrestler, and we're just gonna have to hold that.
He don't need that belt, man. He could.
Yeah, he don't need that.
He don't need it, bro. Look, Bronson showed out though. I think that was a really good match. Good coming out match for Bronson Reed. But yeah, I gotta agree. With the internet, I think they did the wrong decision this time. I think it should have been Bronson Reed to win the belt. Gargano does not need that belt. He can have a banger at Takeover without the belt. It's not necessary.
And I think he has.
That's what I'm saying. He had one with Balor. There were no belts on that. I don't think there was any belts for that match.
No. Yeah, it's very confusing. Just like when we talked, what we talked about on night one episode is just like, who's taking it off him? Because now, with Gargano still having that title, it doesn't fix the issue that Gargano doesn't have the title, because like you have so many men on the card just floating around not doing anything. So it's just like, what's gonna happen? Like, what's coming from the North American Championship?
Well, I feel like that title I could be wrong, but I feel like that title was designed so that all the guys who weren't the top guys would have something to do.
Yeah. And then they gave it to the top guy.
And then they gave it to like a former top guy. And then like there's just this whole pool of dudes on NXT that are all like pretty good or like solid, whatever, and have potential, but like aren't really doing shit or not really connecting quite right. And I thought it was so strange to just throw them all in this big gauntlet night one, have one of them come out and then still lose to Gargano. It was just, I feel like that entire class tier of guy there, I don't know what you do with those dudes. Do you know what I mean? Like, because none of them really seem like main roster bound, but they're not really advancing here. Like, it's just like they're there. And I felt like that should just be their belt. That should be the guys in the corner belt. Like, let them do this early on the card, like the TV title or whatever. But I don't know, it's strange.
And then they had this thing, they wrote the thing where it's just like, oh man, like I only have like 12 hours to prepare. And it was just like, well, shit, it looks like you adjusted very well. I definitely think that Bronson Reed could have came out of this and still feuded with Johnny and be like, let me get my rematch. Only had like, a certain amount of time to prepare. And then Regal just goes, all right, man, I give you 48 hours. And he's just like, oh no, what? And then, like, and then we just move on after that. But however, from fucking Friday to like 72 hours, whatever.
I don't know math, man. I'm not doing the math.
But like, it was cool seeing Johnny work in that weird way though, because like him doing heel work against a guy like twice his size and stuff was very like, it kind of reminded me a little bit of like the HBK Vader series from back in the day, but like how that match actually was, where HBK was like in real life a heel and Vader was like a big old baby. So actually working the match that way was interesting to see, but it just didn't, I don't know, it didn't like fully click for me. I just kept thinking like how much more fun it would have been if they had Gargano go against somebody like Kushida again or something like that, like run that match back, but it was good.
I think Gargano Grimes would have been really great, but
that would have been really fun, yeah.
But or have him run the match again with Swerve Scott, but it is what it is, heel versus face, standard stuff. What I really liked about this match was it's very different from the Tommaso Ciampa and Walter match, where Tommaso Ciampa was really chopping away at like the legs and the hands, but here you just see Gargano just like, oh, I'm just gonna attack your ribs, liver shot, just bodying his like abdominal region, and I thought that was cool. That was very different. That's it.
I bet you they talked about it. Like, look, if you're gonna do that, I gotta do a whole different match the next day. Like, what you doing? You doing the chop down? I'm doing this. I could only imagine that's what they did.
Yeah. Or just like, all right, we got to do something different.
Yeah.
How your ribs feel? And then just. So I thought that was really cool. The double slingshot DDT, I thought that was a really nice finish, very decisive. But we'll have to see what happens Tuesday, man, or what's coming up for the future of NXT.
It's gonna be interesting. That whole like you said, Don, like that whole mid card, it just kind of like stuck.
It's so there's like 5 guys, and
There's
it's
like
what do
like
you
five
do?
or what, like, because we still don't know what we're doing with Kushida. Even
We
after Takeover, we don't know what the like. Where does he go from there?
Is this what the hell we were doing with LA Knight, Loomis, Roderick
Yeah.
Strong, Grimes, Swerve, Leon Ruff? Like, there's like at least like 8 people that were just like, okay, so what are we doing here? Like, we got to establish, some sort of like, what is it, promotion or like growth? Like I definitely think that Cameron Grimes definitely got his character going, but it's just like, all right, but like he's still like in the same stagnant spot, but we'll see how it goes. Tuesday.
Before we go any further, we got a takeover crowd shot.
Oh yeah, who was it? I missed it.
Gable Stevenson, Minnesota amateur wrestler. Yeah, I guess he's good friends with Brock.
Yeah, I keep seeing him and Brock pictures, so I was just like, all right, Brock baby.
I haven't seen. I don't know anything about amateur wrestling. I saw a clip of him doing a handspring backflip after a match. So I mean, he's somewhat of an athlete. It seems like.
I mean, somewhat of an athlete.
He looks. Hey, look, he looks like a WWE superstar. I believe he's only like 20 years old or like 21. He's really young. So
Brock baby, Bray.
He might be baby Brock, man. He's hanging with Stat. I guess he's with them all. He could be with them all weekend for WrestleMania as well. I believe he is a fan of wrestling, like WWE. So it might be. He does want to do Olympics though. I do remember him saying he wants to do the Olympics. So it might not be now.
Kurt Angle, baby. Let's go.
It might not be now, but I'm pretty sure we'll see Gable Stevenson in the future.
All right, that's cool. I'll be looking forward to him in whenever he debuts, probably in like 2 years from now, or depending how good he is in the PC. But I have the order listed different, but I'm gonna go by what happened on the show first. So Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross for the NXT Championship. I'm sad it had to happen, but this doesn't have to be the end. I thought this was a very interesting match. How did y'all feel about it?
I don't know. It was a good match. I thought it was probably the best cross match I've ever seen, I guess. I didn't think it was quite the caliber of like Balor's other recent title defenses. Like right now, Balor is like better than he's like literally ever fucking been in his entire career. Like ever. I've never liked him this much. Like when he was in New Japan, I wasn't this crazy about him. When he came to WWE, I didn't really care that much about him, to be entirely honest. I always liked him, but I wasn't like, now I'm just like, this guy is like fucking clicking so well. So a part of me is just like, just keep doing this shit. Just keep the belt in him for the year. I don't fucking care. But I understand why they did it. And it at least kind of showed us that Kross can like, has more versatility than we maybe thought before. So maybe he'll be good or fun. I still don't care about him on any level, and I don't really want to watch that guy wrestle more. I would have been so much more stoked if they were like, he's going to be on Raw next week fighting Bray or something, and you never have to pay attention to him again. That would have been great. But no, I thought it was a fun match.
Him and Corbin, man. I see the vision. Him and Corbin, LA Knight and Corbin. Those are the future right there. But yeah, I would agree. Like, this is for sure the best Karrion Kross match I've seen in a very long time. He has these really good matches, but I always care about, the person that he beat way more than I care about him. Like, I care about Keith Lee way more. I cared about Ciampa way more. I cared about Santos Escobar way more, and I care about Finn Balor way more than I care about Karrion.
You know what the problem is with Karrion Kross? I understand why they pushed him so hard. It's just that like we don't really know anything about Karrion Kross. Like they haven't really fleshed out his character enough for me to, like you said, for me to even care about him being the champion. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what this guy is. I just know he's this creepy dude with a hot wife that beats dudes up.
It's definitely like the ICW booking is just like, this dude is strong, so therefore belt. And like that's it. Is all right, strong man wins but like this is a corny event, you know, like
they do seem to be softening the character a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
the character, but like making him actually seem like a normal person. Like I feel like the Cross that came in at NXT, we never would have seen footage of him in a gym. We just would have assumed that like
he just grew his power,
came out of a fucking vat like that or something.
Like
he broke out of like the Weapon X program or whatever. But like here, it was like, oh no, he also has to work out. Just like he's a person, he's a human being.
He's just like you,
and he cares about his wife just like you. And
like if they just make him like a murderous wife guy, like that's a gimmick that works. You know what I mean? Like it worked for Macho Man. You know, like. You know, so I could be into it. I just remember, I was so bummed because the whole time I was like, well, I know they're not going to do it. I know we're going to get more Balor as champion. And I was like, oh, they fucking did it. Oh, shit. Now I got to like process this.
That's literally like how the whole TL.
I'm still in like the grieving period. I'm like, I'll accept this later. Maybe by Tuesday I'll be in the mood.
Well, we'll see what goes moving forward. But like, I definitely liked when he was being more humanized during the Santos Escobar program. And now, right after that program, he just like kind of went back to the same carrying cross that he always was. Except like now he's like wearing a button up and chinos, you know? Shout out to Emilio. But, you know, I'm on a wait and see, you know, I'm always open to being impressed. So we'll see what comes out of this whole thing on Tuesday, especially like whatever Finn Balor does. Pete Dunne was tweeting spicy about like, you know, TikTok, and I was just like, we could all tweet, but I'll take it with a grain of salt, you know. I could tweet it, but I'm not gonna be
like
there.
that though. That'd be really nice.
That'd be cool.
But I don't want to see Pete Dunne lose again like that, because you know you're gonna lose. I don't want to see him.
Whoa, lose again? My, he rarely loses.
I'm talking about the title matches.
I mean, it is what it is. Hey man, he beat Kushida for shit. It don't make no goddamn sense to me. So Kushida would have took that win and went to the North American title scene. Pete Dunne took the win and wanted to go fight Cross. So just hold that. Right. We'll see what happens. Like they didn't really leave, you know. They definitely left us wondering. There is not a clear message that came out of this takeover, so that's why there's just a lot of this shit. We'll see on Tuesday.
We'll see on Tuesday. That's all you can do.
Like I can't fantasy book with, you know, this open-endedness. So let's get into what I think is the main event, no matter how they try to word it. Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly in an unsanctioned street fight. I like it.
All right, I'm gonna be a little controversial here. I like the match. I gave it a 4.5. I would have gave it a 5, but they should have cut like 10 minutes of that match. I didn't need all that. Okay. I didn't. But I'm also notorious for hating long matches. I hate any match over 25 minutes. I hate it. I don't want to like.
Can't fight that.
they lost, like the beginning was hot, and then like they lost me in the middle for a little bit, and I think once they got back to the spot, the Taz Bam Bam Bigelow spot, that's when I was back in it again. Mm-hmm. That in the chain clothesline spot, that was insane. But got me back in. I mean, I'm not gonna. It was a good match. It's Kyle O'Reilly, it's Adam Cole. You know what they're gonna do. It's an NXT main event. I understand it's gonna be 40 minutes, 40, 50 minutes, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, but it was a blood feud.
Yeah. It very much reminded me of the New Orleans Ciampa and Gargano. You know, long, hard hitting.
I would say
this match is better than that match, but
I think the Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa match is much more violent, which I would have expected from these two. I would say this is like kind of like vintage Adam Cole in NXT, where this is very similar to the match that he had with Aleister Black in Philly, I believe.
Yeah.
So,
I was not a big fan of that entire Gargano Ciampa feud and stuff, like their matches. I was like one of the people who was like whining about how long they were and all that different stuff. I didn't connect to it at all. But I actually thought this match, it could have been more violent, obviously. It could have been a little bit shorter, obviously, I guess. But I really liked something that I just never see that much in wrestling anymore, and I don't know why, is like when two dudes are having like a blood feud and then the match starts and they're doing like collar and elbow tie-ups.
I hate that.
You know,
I
hate that shit. Like when the fucking Bucks and
MJF and Chris Jericho.
MJF and Chris Jericho did that shit. And they're like, this isn't gonna be a match. It's gonna be a fight. You hurt our dad. And then it was like, you hurt my dad, so I got to do a 450 and a kick flip off the ropes. And it's like, stab him. He hurt your father. Stab him in the ribs. So the fact that this match started off just right into the fight, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like they actually grabbed me enough in the beginning that I was willing to put up with whatever for the rest of it until someone was almost dead. And the fact that when it was over, they both looked dead, I was like, tight.
Yeah,
yes.
Sick.
Violence. Because I don't know, so many modern guys do like bloody, hardcore, whatever type matches nowadays, and it's just like goofy spots, like prepared.
They still gotta get their shit in.
Yeah, but it's like to me, it's better if it looks like it's two guys who are going to try to kill one another because there's no other option, you know. And like they definitely sold that for me. That like when it was over, I was like, yeah,
peace is no longer an option. We must
it's just like someone's gonna die, you know. And I love that. So I was like, all right, cool. I did think it was kind of weird when we got to the finish, how long they lingered on O'Reilly on the ramp because I kept thinking there was gonna be some kind of angle. Because like usually that's what happens with the camera. I was like, I'm like, who would he even be? So instead of ending on this really powerful note, I was just like, so what's happening? What's happening?
Yeah,
it's over.
My first thought was Roderick Strong, and then he just like put the fist up like Diesel. I was just like, yeah, Black Power. Shout out to Kyle O'Reilly, man.
You know, my first thought was I was watching because he was like walking backwards. I was like, please don't walk backwards into that hole in the ground. You were getting kind of close. I was like, please don't walk backwards into that hole in the ground. That's gonna be so embarrassing. But now that you said that though, because you know we're so accustomed to, not accustomed to it, we're always weary of the fact that you know just because that little logo on the bottom right corner pop up, it don't mean
now we know it doesn't mean anything. Yeah,
right. We know it don't mean
like
nothing.
What is it? The Tommaso Ciampa when you hit him in the back with the crutch when the logo popped up, like the show's not over because it says it's over.
Yeah, the
Kevin Owens betrayal basically like irreparably broke us now. So we're always waiting for like
I'm ready for whatever.
Just you were just ready to see Roger Strong just come and just break his spine.
Yeah, something.
I wonder I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with Roger Strong because they had him just go, nah, fuck it, I don't want the North American title. And I was just like, that's kind of some serious shit. Like your ambitions for gold is dead now, and you're not gonna follow up.
Yeah, right.
You know, and I feel like Roderick would be good in the North American title slot because he could have really good matches with all those other guys and like, help them look good and stuff. Like it's kind of what he should be doing, you know. Roderick Strong is kind of like Arn Anderson, kind of. You know what I mean? And like back in the day, they would throw the TV title on Arn, and Arn would wrestle whoever, and it was always good. And that was like his spot. I don't know what the hell you do with him otherwise, unless you put him back in like a new tag team or something.
Yeah, right. Let Roger Strong get that 2-time North American Championship accolade on his belt, and then just like I feel like it probably wouldn't be as fun as Gargano, but I think we would get a lot of stellar matches out of it. So two sides of a coin, both beneficial. But before we leave, I didn't ask this question last recording, but how'd y'all feel about fans returning? Because when they chanted "We want tables," I was just like, "Man, COVID, I'm gonna need you to do your thing."
I gotta be real. I'm so excited for Mania tonight and tomorrow night because it's been so long since we've heard real wrestling with a real crowd, not like a hush New Japan crowd, like a real crowd, and I'm so stoked for that. But there were multiple moments like I heard "Fight Forever" and I just like my flight or flight response kicked in. I was just like, I swear to God, you motherfuckers! I forgot about that stuff.
Yeah. I was talking to Justin and Mark about it, and basically I just was just like, oh, you're just bitter. That's why you don't want fans to come back. And then I was just like, all right, let me be open to it. And then I heard both these guys, and I was just like, let me just turn my TV down.
I mean, people chant whatever they want to chant. I get it, but just like in the last several years, every year wrestling fans make me more sick of wrestling.
Especially NXT. I don't know. I thought maybe if they got a Full Sail, it wouldn't be as obnoxious. But you could take the NXT out of Full Sail, but you can't take the Full Sail
out of NXT.
Yeah.
I hate Fight Forever. I hate both these guys. I hate like just fucking just cheer or boo. Just cheer or boo, or say someone's name or don't. It doesn't have to be any of this other extra shit.
The first time Fight Forever was ever implemented, I think that was the most natural it's ever been. Because it was, when I first heard it, it was for Sami Zayn and Nakamura. And
yeah,
I for sure wanted that shit to go forever.
That was like in that, and I mean, that match doesn't really kind of hold up the way it did, but that night, that was like amazing. Yeah. But I've heard it in like 40 fucking matches since. I've heard it on like random TV matches on Dynamite, and I'm like, really?
Yeah, literally.
There's going to be a commercial break. They cannot fight forever.
Yeah, and they do it for some of the worst matches I've seen.
Yeah,
we're not gonna get into that, but it was nice for fans to come back. I'm glad everybody can enjoy their time at Tampa and all that. But hey, shut up, man. Just stop talking. Do y'all think they're gonna keep fans going into Tuesday, or even after they leave like the Mania season's basically over?
I think fans are back for good in the CWC. I don't know about main roster. I think CWC. I think they're in there for sure.
I'm curious, like, how do you implement fans into the Thunderdome?
I mean, you could
have them sit on the TVs.
I don't know what you gonna do. I don't know how they. I don't know. But I think CWC for sure. CWC, yeah, whatever the extra risers they put up, I think that's staying.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that is our episode. Mania will be starting in kind of like 4 or 5 hours.
Well, pre-shows at 7. I'm gonna watch it. Look, I'm gonna tell you something about WrestleMania. It don't matter how bad the build is, whatever, bunch of matches I don't give a fuck about. As soon as that morning, I feel like a kid on Christmas. Every WrestleMania morning,
every year,
it don't matter, bro. It could be the worst card. I'm hyped. I'm excited for it. I watched a little video. Did you see the setup for the?
Fire the cannons, boy! I was hyped as fuck for that.
Dog, they had a whole LED panel up on the whole upper deck of the stadium. That shit's about to be crazy. Like, I can't wait to see how that looks when Sasha comes out or Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
So before we go, what are y'all looking forward to the most on Mania? Doesn't matter which night. Just throw out whatever.
I mean, for sure, Bianca and Sasha main eventing night 1. That's just like, I don't even care if the match somehow turns out to be dog shit somehow, because I don't give a fuck. This is just a tight thing that's happening.
Yeah.
I'm also really weirdly looking forward to Cesaro Rollins, because I think that a lot of matches that maybe don't have the best build, the best story, or the best drawing, whatever, it's everyone's first time wrestling in front of 20,000 people in over a year. So like, I think certain matches are just going to hit because these guys are going to be so excited to have a crowd again, So like, it's just going to be good.
What about you, Quan?
I'm looking forward to Drew and Bobby, but not because of the actual match, just because that's going to be the first match. I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see what kind of energy you're going to be, But out there, I think he's going to. I mean, I'm sure the match will be fine. I think Drew has been wonderful the last 6 months or so. Mm-hmm. Besides that, Cesaro, Seth, I want to see if Cesaro shows up. This is his moment. If you know what I mean.
Rollins got to.
This is it.
He got to put in the good word, man. Let me lose. Please let me lose.
This is it. Look, man, you better, all this stuff the fans been saying for years. You should be in the main event. You're a main event guy. This is it. You better show up. That's all I'm saying. Because if you're not, you can be a whole lot of "I told you so" from the Office. I think Rhea Asuka will be fun. The build's been basically nothing but.
There's a clear reason why.
There's reasons, and
like the train has been off the tracks, barrel rolling and multi-track drifting all over the place.
Loki, think about how we got here. First of all, Lacey gets pregnant. Charlotte might have got pregnant. We don't even know since she wasn't. Asuka got her teeth knocked out. This has been so many fucking things to get to this point. I'm even shocked there is a Raw Women's Title match at this point, because this is a mess to get here.
They had to put whatever on, and they said, "Ain't no way in hell we put in Peyton Royce on that shit."
You don't want Peyton on the Raw?
They said, "Hell no."
Good.
For me, I would say I'm looking forward to the triple threat match for the SmackDown Championship. That should be great.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to see how the fans react to like some of the lower card matches, like the match for the women tag titles. You know, I feel like for Rollins and Cesaro, they're gonna be hot as hell, but like for the lower card matches, like
I think they're gonna go up for everything just because it's wrestling.
yeah,
My fans. I don't think
like,
anything gonna get like shit. No, I just think people are gonna be like hyped to see wrestlers.
like there's gonna be like no burnout for like a 4-hour show.
Yeah, I don't think they're
And
gonna.
that'd be hard.
Maybe tomorrow, but I think for tonight, it's gonna be something special.
Yeah, all interesting stuff. Looking forward to Mania. Should be starting soon. I don't know what I'm gonna do to. I'm probably just gonna take a nap and like and just wake up like right before the pre-show starts. But thank you to everyone who is a patron. You get this episode first. Everybody else who will be getting this on a Monday. If you're a patron, you heard it, so I guess you don't really care. Shout out to everybody that subscribed. It's really good to see all the support and love that we're getting. Thanks, Dom, for coming on. Hopefully,
thank you for having me.
Hopefully, I can get you on Spot Callers and we could talk about all sorts of weird stuff that is out there. That is the big plan. But now that the Patreon's back up, we can finally move on this whole thing. So, anything you would like to plug?
You guys can follow me on Twitter at all new Dom, and then I'm on YouTube. My YouTube channel is called the Armchair Auteur. I put up videos like multiple times a week. Do some freelance film reviews for Looper.com. So I'm all over the place.
Mm-hmm. And you'll be back on the returning movie podcast whenever that comes back. I know the theaters closing down. Late fees is a little rough. But it'll be back soon. That's what I heard through the grapevine. So
yep, that might be correct. Yes.
So looking forward to that.
Yeah. Wait.
Anything you want to say, Quan, before we go?
Nah, man. Just everybody enjoy WrestleMania. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Well, I mean, by the time y'all hear this, it'll be Monday for the non-Patreon listeners. But look out for the next episode of War Report. Got a lot of things coming.
It's gonna be the first time for NXT on Tuesday.
And yo, I'm so happy. I
have no excuse to not watch Dynamite now because there's no competition.
well, look, I'm watching the challenge finale this Wednesday, so
you already know.
That's coming first. Dynamite got to come after.
No, ever since AEW has been slow to upload it to YouTube, it's been kind of pain. Like now they used to have the show up at like 1 a.m. on a Thursday, and then I would like watch it all then, binge it all then. But like now it's you get the full show at like 4 o'clock on a Friday, and it's just like I already recorded the episode, man.
Yeah, it's too late, bro.
Stop putting this on my recommended. But shout out to everybody. Have a good Mania weekend. Be nice. Get vaccinated. All that.